tweak or you want to modify, please go ahead. If you have fresh ideas we haven't thought of, if you want to extend something, please.
Yes, give thanks, my Lord, Ras Seven Fireside, for that presentation. It seems you stimulated a lot of issues. You touched on a lot of issues that is relevant to Ireland. I trust members here listening to you have comments, questions, suggestions, or inputs that they would like to make. So at this time, I'll open the floor for once and once, my lords and empresses. I see some empresses here. We appreciate their presence. It's delightful having them around. So please, if anybody has a comment, suggestion, you can come in. Prof. Wiro, do you want to come in?
Wiro, we can't hear you.
Please, Rasejo, Adamai, can you unmute your mic?
Yo, Rastafari.
Yes, sir.
Rastafari.
Rastafari. This is Ras Michael.
Yes, sir. Yes, Ras Michael.
Yeah, please. Am I audible?
Yes, you are very
sir.
audible, King.
All right. So here's my issue. I like the angle of we playing this neutrality role when it comes to political perspectives. Neutrality role in the sense that if Party A brings something that we see will promote our agenda, we hang on with it. If Party B brings something that we feel it will better our cause, we hang on with it. But my problem is where we hear NDC, Rasta Caucus, NPP, Rasta Caucus, CPP, Rasta Caucus. If we are prefixing the name, the Rasta, with political abbreviations and political names, it will get to a time that one political party will see us as leaning towards the other 120%, and the other we are leaning towards maybe 50%. So my point is that the point I was making this morning was that yes, let us start from whatever they have for us, but we must not be prefixing.
I just
Hello.
Can hear you, brother.
We can hear you, King. Continue. We can hear you loud and clear.
So my fear is prefixing political names before Rasta comes. So we are Rastafarians. So we are Rastafarians. The issue of bringing NDC caucus, MPP caucus, that one caucus is what my problem is. Other than that, from all the explanations that our speaker have done, I agree totally. Because the literature that I've read about Rastafarian, the things that I've read about Rastafarianism, it is always a movement that is somehow apolitical. What I say somehow apolitical, in the sense that the main anchor of Rastafarianism, it is sort of fighting for freedom. It is revolutionary. It is not political. There's a difference between being revolutionary and being political. And being revolutionary means you are fighting for a right or something that will improve your cause. So when I hear NDC caucus, MPP caucus. It frightens me. It frightens me. I wish we can have Rasta, not any abbreviations, not any name attaching to it. This is Rasta. Okay, you can choose to be with MPP, I can choose to do NDC, but it's Rasta. The name should stand as Rasta. That is what I think about it. So I'll pause here, then I'll come back. Thank you so much. Rastafari.
Rastafari, give thanks.
Bless you.
Can I just say one quick before Jeb Love, because Jeb Love, I want to give you a lot of space to. Yeah, Russ Michael, totally, man, I agree with you all the way, except when you say that apolitical or revolutionary fighting for rights makes us non-political, because that is political too, right? Mao was revolutionary, political. Everything Rasta stands for is political, but maybe the things that we're limiting our understanding of what political means. I think what you're saying is that nation state politics is a thing that is something that you prefer that we don't try to kind of like put ourselves too much into, or like identify with, and identify with our revolutionary purposes. And we can extend that to His Majesty. That's what's trying to emphasize. His Majesty, we've got to play it up. Selassie is the Rastafari. Selassie is Rastafari. Let's stop looking left and right and all those kinds of things. Everything is an appendage, incidental. Let's start from there, right? And we can even appreciate those things better. So what is Selassie's approach to this thing? And Selassie is political all the way. Let's face it. And Babylonians know that. To the extent why my brethren was joining the U.S. Army and he was filling out that brethren said, "When no should I live Rastafari?" They fill out the application where they ask him, say, "What be in religion?" Where go write Rastafari? That's the U.S. military. And they tell him, they say, "You can't write that over here." Because Rastafari is basically like an enemy of the state. Basically, that's what he learned. He shared this with me. That brother don't actually live Rastafari. He just grew up around Rasta people. So Rasta is political, right? But I think we're having a too narrow understanding of what politics mean. But I appreciate what you're saying, Russ Michael. And I think we're going to hear you out some more. Jah Beloved, please give it to us, man.
Give thanks, give enough thanks. And I see Empress Sadia's hands up too, so normally I would let the Empress go first and everything. But I would like to just put this in real quick, just so it connects with the reason which is already out there. And I have other things to say, so I'll come back if there's more time to say a little more. But first of all, let's examine the nature of these entities that we call political parties, right? What are they? Where do they come from? What's their ideology? What's their makeup and all of that? Let's even look at the colors that they fly, right? And honestly, everything matters. To be honest with you, if you see red, white, black, and green, take the white out, please. But you see, it tells you something. Versus red, white, and blue. I'm just saying. Whatever you do with what I'm saying, you do with it. But I'm just saying. Number two. We know the history of Rastafari in Ghana. We know that a certain Jerry Rawlings set out to look out for Rasta people. We can't lose sight of that. Versus another party, and what are the manifestation of what they have done to support Rasta people? I'm just putting these things out there so that whatever discussion we are having, we tie that in there. Because at the end of it, what is politics supposed to achieve? It's supposed to make my life better. So if we have two parties, of course, I agree with the brethren that spoke. We don't want to too much, because the thing is, Rastafari is broad. Not everybody would think along the lines of what the NDC speaks along, right? For instance, we, like Ras said, Eyahine and all these things. If you have family that went through an episode, a certain period of trauma during that time, it's hard for you to turn around and say, "Hey, I support NDC because they are flying red, black, and green." It's hard. So we can't box everybody and say Rastafari is going this way. But let's think about it in those broader terms. Because if we are talking politics, then what we are saying is that we are looking at what these things or these entities represent. If I have a party that is thinking of me to the point where they will give me a piece of land and support my farmers cooperative, give us a house at airport residential and all of that, coming down all the different things that have been done, right? Versus a party that doesn't have much to show for it. And even the people that we hold in high esteem, Osadifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, what did this party do to Osadifo Dr. Kwame Nkrumah? They bombed him. I think all those things matter. I just put these things out there. Let's all factor those things in. I'll come back later to make my answer. Thank you very much. Thanks.
It'll be great for you to say.
Oh, yes. Sorry, one empress wanted to come in, so let's take the empress and then maybe we can get a response from the presenter.
Queen, please unmute your mic and proceed.
Sorry. Okay. I thought you had muted me over there. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear. We can hear you.
Okay. So before I come in with my own view, I mean my points. The speaker has brought out very important and relevant issues here, you know, as far as history of politics and democracy. I think that for the discussion to even flow more, can we define what politics and democracy, what do we mean by these things? Then we can flow along with it. So that's my suggestion.
You want me to do that? Or someone else who's going to do it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I'm thinking of politics simply as what people do together to make life more livable, just like how Jabilov has said, you know. So you can have a club and there's politics. You can have a band, a musical band, and there's politics in there because you're deciding how to work together and make things work for you. You can have family politics. We all know that. Extended family. Too much. That's politics, right? So politics is a broad thing. And I think it's best to understand it as a way of figuring out ways to manage yourself. You go back to the etymology, of course, it has to be tied to a city, right? Polis was the idea of a city. So we can start thinking of citizenship and all that. We can understand that. But I think it's too narrow when we stick it to that. Because Rastafari was not thinking strictly in terms of those things when we started fighting for the legalization of marijuana, right? We're thinking of free the ganja for us, you know, dreadlocks, all that. It wasn't tied to a city or the fact of citizenship. You know what I mean? It's just the fact that we're Rastafari and we need to live our lives. So Rastafari politics for me is such a broad thing in terms of anything that a group of people do to make their lives better, to manage their existence within a particular situation or particular polity, you know. And then democracy is another hollow word. If you study political science, you realize they have endless definitions of democracy. Let's face it, all these categories were European created. That's why I made a point about Selassie rejecting their categories. They don't come and ruin our thing with your little word games. He said that to Rana Falashi in that same interview published in the Chicago Tribune, I think June 1973. You know, she was throwing up all these words. And Marcus Selassie said, all these things, it's words you're playing with. So democracy itself infers government by the people for the people. Now, that could mean a lot of things, right? We all know that, right? But basically, if we use that broad concept, Selassie, in that sense, Selassie, like I say, Selassie introduced the first constitution of Ethiopia to share power with the people with a sense that it was going to be government by the people for the people. But it takes more than just, you know, that one with Selassie will literally go and sit in somebody's one-bedroom, chamber and hall, sit with the person in their room, vibe with them, you know, go on the streets when he's supposed to be resting and interact with people to pick up. He's aware of his own. He knows what he identifies as a commoner himself. You know, people always talk about his royalty living in the palace. So that's he's a royal commoner, and he talks about that too. You know, so both is how we live. So that's democracy right there, embodied in the King of Kings. You know, like you embody the ideas of the people. Now that's relative because either party in the country can say they're embodying the will of the people. Those who are trying to subvert Nkrumah's projects, you know, they said they were representing the people too in their minds. So it becomes sometimes like a semantics thing, but then we look at the results, right? And there are things we go to say about Nkrumah, we look at it closely. But if nobody has anything to add, I want to throw it back to Jah Beloved when he said his own party banned him. Is that what you said? Jah Beloved.
Rastafari. I just want to come.
Okay. The opposition, how did they handle him? They bombed him and all that.
Oh, okay. Yes, brethren, please come in. That's Michael.
Unmute your mic, Michael.
Am I audible, please?
Yes, now you are.
Yes, please.
Thank you so much. Now, so the purpose of reading history or going through literature is for you to understand what people have done in the past so that you can learn from it and move on with the movement that you associate yourself with. So when I joined this Rastafari group, I read a lot about Emperor Haile Selassie. And if you pay attention to his style of political activism, it is not like what is happening today. His political activities is a form of revolutionizing the Rasta movement. He brings awareness to the Rasta movement. So that is different. And in fact, I have a lot of respect for you, my brother, the speaker, and all the research, the way you are taking us through all this thing. I have a lot of respect for you. But when it comes to the kind of politics that His Excellency Haile Selassie was doing, his politics was not to win power or to lord over people or to do what is happening today. It is to bring awareness and revolutionize the Rasta movement. So this is why I am saying I am of the view, or I feel that when we are not careful as a group and are thinking into this style of political activities, we may end up becoming a wing of A or B. We may, and I choose my words carefully, we may. But what I think we should do is what the speaker spoke about earlier, that we need to be neutral in a sense that we are for all. We are for all. I am afraid because the politics that we are practicing in Ghana, in Africa here, I am afraid of how political names is being associated with our name. I am afraid. And so please, I want you to highlight, and I don't know whether you have some view on that, how we can be Rasta but benefit from the political system. How are we going to go about it? Thank you so much.
Well, Michael, me in particular, I actually see Rasta as a whole political organization on its own, seriously speaking, because as you are saying, I also feel very, very uncomfortable seeing NDC caucus of Rasta. I'm always uncomfortable. I've been looking out to see NPP caucus, but I never see NPP caucus, only NDC caucus. And they are very, very vociferous. Be as it may, I try so much to be non-aligned because I've always seen Rasta to be very, very political. If you look at how you are saying it's more of revolutionary or whatever, it's political anyway, because to me revolution itself is also another politics in its way. And our speaker made it clear, if you cry politics or far away na some more thing, it's true. Office politics is serious. I work with a lot of corporate organizations, and sometimes we show politics our corporate more a very deadly sin our national stage there. Seriously, private sector politics is serious, and have seen it real. But be as it may, I face a lot of pressure. Like for instance, me in my neighborhood, there's this funny kid my daughter will say, "Daddy, you are the strongest man in the neighborhood." Why? Because everybody call on you when there's anything. Everyone will call on. Recently there was assembly election, and it's like every contestant is trying to poach my support because bibia obefre bia no rasta wo ho uchi ha rasta wo ho ofre ha rasta wo ho and they will try to poach you. At the end of the day, we stand for the right thing. Say if you go for I go for it. If you go I go for it. So we having the caucus, I also have a very serious problem with it because yesterday, we bet me a papa, or bet me a bonny, or be a bear papa bear bonny, be say it to me can. But we our Ghana politics, if you are NPP. That's a boni woman won't mean nka papa ne nkwa na say woka wo ye NDC na say NDC ni ye boni a eni say woka papa ne nkwa na say woka and that is a problem me as a rasta I won't accept nti mateme ho say me a rasta no me a politics on my own a political party on my own baby a papa wo bia no me chefa baby a boni wo bia no me pigu. So
thank you.
We having this NPP NDC caucus. I'm also afraid because seriously, like I see NDC caucus for Rastafari Council insider, like I don't go join. Oh yeah,
that's a serious.
Like I see before, like I never go join. Mean that because anytime me the first time I meet that DB, I asked him why NDC caucus, and then the explanation my mate is very clean. But you MPP for room, if you are went your monka, but omu pa we were and oh sir, okay, and Makuma told me kakra. But on a serious note, I feel say we should stand at ourselves because maybe you'll be serious and because I'm standing assembly or my neighborhood. I know say I will get 80% votes. Yeah. Because in Kofubi Muka party we hono, I'm saying no Rasta de obey Rasta de say not it. In Kofubi Muka political party, obia ope good thing in the obey because when him say I the papa and the cost ya friend or beba. But I did there I go anyway, ya friend ya me. And that be my lifestyle. I go feed on my way they come, this thing they happen, I go attend to and find me when they make me what yeah. So to me, let's hold ourselves as our own political party since like yes NDC NPP caucus within our organization. I'm not comfortable when they make so that be my peace in paying for me that say.
Can I come in?
Yes, I want to come in.
All right, Ken.
Son of man, please let the Empress touch and then you come in. I know that you.
Thank you.
You must definitely.
For the speaker that just spoke, raised a lot of also very good points. So now my mind, I feel like Rasta, we should be involved with politics, as in the politics of the nation, what the NPP people are doing, but not as as one of them, but as agents of change.
That's it.
Like you all already said, when we see them doing something good, we are on that side. They are doing something bad. We should be able to have that voice where we can support or criticize. So like the speaker that just spoke was saying that he's very active in his community, and if he stands for election, he can win. My concern is, why not stand as a member of parliament and use that opportunity to influence your community coming from the Rastafari point of view. Here
actually, not on the MPship side, because I prefer the assembly ends, and if I talk about politics, I look about the local ends.
Okay.
Yes, so let's put that in.
Anywhere you can make an influence. Assembly, anywhere you can make an influence, because I think that we are a political party. We are and the other were revolutionary, but we are also I think we are also passive. Passive doesn't mean that we don't act in the concerns of the country, but we are passive in the sense that our power is not very felt. We are not very heard. Like the issue of dreadlocks, they are trying to stop our children from growing dreadlocks, the smoking and all these things. We are the ones that were agitating for a long time for legalization of, the weed and so on and so forth. Now, I think, they are marketing it. They are doing all kinds of legislations. We don't even get credit for all this jailing and the beatings that was taken, over the years. So I think that we should have a strong force where maybe in the government we can have a voice there, maybe in parliament or somewhere, like one of us was there. Can we even become members of parliament, even as, our own Rasta caucus, not NDC, not NPP, like a Rasta entity that is strong in the country where they can hear us, But to be afraid and not to join also makes us very, very weak, If something is going on, I think we should be involved and then use that involvement to address issues that come up.
Empress, it also takes quite a lot. Another funny thing that stops some of us from getting involved with certain is that sometimes if you put yourself out on a ticket or to go for certain, people feel say, oh, so they kind of hold you with and we see how our politicians behave, because on the local level, people see you say, like he holds you to it, not to the extent say, and I don't fault the masses on that, because their output shows they go to take care of themselves and not about the whole thing. That's why some of these things we sometimes hold ourselves back. But then this particular reasoning has actually poked some senses. Also, it's a lot of time consuming. And I feel you put in when you have the enough to put in, but then if you don't have, you hold back. But it's worth considering. These are some of the reasons why we sit to listen to such reasonings, to change our minds and take it out from there. So thanks, Ma. Yeah, King, please take up. Yes, I. Unmute your mic and speak up.
Yes, only Rastafari the first, I'm Ben Israel, known as Son of Man, City First, founder and leader of NDC Rasta Caucus. And actually, Rasta Caucus is an organization by itself, but we just affiliate with the NDC. Why we affiliate with the NDC? Because NDC have the ideology of Marcus Mosiah Garvey, as he's paved the way and Haile Selassie blessed it and set it for I&I. That's why we affiliate with the NDC, Yes, I work with NDC for way back, from PNDC to, democracy that becomes NDC, right? Yes, and because they have the ideology of Marcus Garvey, skill acquisition, when it comes to infrastructure, they are well in infrastructure, we all know, yes. There is nothing called MPP Rasta Caucus. There's nothing like that. If you hear something MPP Rasta Caucus, that means they copy from the Rasta Caucus that affiliate with the NDC, because we choose to be with the NDC and support them in a good governance and training the youth on agriculture.
Sorry, but I want to ask a question.
Mike, I beg, hold on. Yes, Mike, I think we will need him to go more before we ask this question. Please, we will need him to go more, please. Hold on, please. Yes,
we all know politics. Politics is everywhere. Politics is in our homes. Even the mansions of Rastafari is politics. I'm a Bobo Shanti, I'm a 12 tribe, I'm Naya Bindi, it's politics. What kind of politics are we doing? Party politics is the welfare of the people. How the people will, have their freedom, creating job, creating a lot of things that will let people be free of their self. That's what we want. And I Rastas have right to represent ourselves in parliament, and we are ready for that. Rasta have right to be a president. Why? Why are we distancing ourselves from them? The country, let's all look at how the country is going. Look at our economy. It's become a chaos. So we, the righteous people, the conscious people, should sit down for our country to seek. No, we must rise, either revolution or either in the party politics. We need to rise. You see, we need to rise. That's the fight that we are fighting for. We are not fighting for this, that, and that. All right, we have two big parties in this country, MPP and NDC, right? You can choose to be an MPP, I don't care. But me, I represent NDC, and I have to support NDC to provide a good governance. You see it? Yeah. These two parties, you cannot come as a third party to clear them like that. No. It can't be possible. Little by little, you have to affiliate with one. The conscious one, that is what we affiliate with. We all know Jerry John Rawlings also takes some of ideas from Rastas. It's just Rastas that are distancing themselves from Rawlings, because he called them up front. Who are those that he called? Where are they? Did they do their things well? Let me tell you, to be honest with you, NDC respects Son of Man. I represent a policy suggestion. I never represented me alone. I contact some of the Rasta elders to bring the idea. I contact Rastafari Council. I contact a lot of, I don't want to mention those names, but they also brought their policy suggestion and I sent it. Even when you watch the 24-hour economy, you can see something like a tourism, you can see like agriculture, you can see something like sanitation. Yes, I'm not waiting for the party to come and build. You can see when you watch me in Volta region, I'm creating farming that can employ a lot of unemployment. And we started before this party will come to power. You see it? So we Rastas, we must stand on our own. If we want to create our own political party, I'm ready to support that. But in this time, I'm not good enough to have my own political party. That's why I affiliate with the NDC. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Son of Man.
Yes, my Lord. Rastafari.
Son of Man.
Yes. Yeah, my Lord, please, I wanted to express also my position on the matter, hearing, the views and presentation. What position is that Rastas are constitutional. Yes, as Rastas, we respect the Constitution. The Constitution makes rules for freedom of association. So, for me, my understanding is every Rasta man can associate him or herself with any group he or she deems fit. And a party, for instance, if you look at the contribution of Ras Mubarak to the Rastafari movement, we can say he took a unique position and contributed, gave a certain essence to the Rasta community in Ghana. When somebody called Ras was in parliament, by presenting the Rasta image as worthy of being in parliament, he also took, whenever there are issues that affect the Rasta movement, he took a Rasta position. For instance, the issue of herbs, dreadlocks, and what have you, he defended Rasta. And like he was saying, if there are more Rastas within, that is more hands making the work light. But I also think that irrespective of the divide, whether party A or party B, Rastas should not be limited. For instance, before the previous election, one parliamentarian mentioned, hey, there is the NDC's Rasta caucus. Where is the MPP Rasta caucus? And I think that is where we must commend our brothers for organizing and gaining recognition in the political front. So if the NPP, and then one thing that happened also was, I think some of our members in MPP also came out to endorse a political party, and the media carried it as Rastafari endorsing a political party, and the council has to come out to the council came out to indicate that no, as a body, we are not aligned with Party A or Party B, but individual members have their own affiliations. And so I think, yes, if I and I, Rastaman, want to assume, want to enter parliament, either through Party A or Party B or as an independent candidate, that is worth supporting, because whether we born politics or not, there are issues that affect us that is decided by politicians. Let's say decriminalization of the herb, our right to, even our right to with our dreadlocks. And when that conversation started, I think we must remind ourselves of something. When that conversation started, we noticed that one political party kept defending us in parliament, and the other kept disrespecting us in parliament. And I think that our influence, or should I say caucus, has impacted that particular party to the extent that they can have a Rasta position. Because mostly when you engage politicians, sometimes they ask you to give them sort of write-ups to defend their position, because most of them, it's like they are not learned in our ways. And so I think in that way, you can commend the NDC caucus for being able to influence their party to the extent that their parliamentarians have certain positions and can defend Rasta. Moving forward, if the MPP will also have, because I think it will do well so that in their manifesto, in preparing their manifestos, they also factor in what the ghetto youth, what the Rastafari, what the underprivileged, where a place where some of us identify with. These people, what their position is, and what their needs are. Because sometimes the politicians even find it difficult identifying the solutions to the problems of the community. And so if we are on board telling them that these are our problems and these are the solutions, it will help. But then as a national body, the Rastafari Council of Ghana shouldn't be seen to endorse Party A or Party B, because like the presenter mentioned, it is necessary that we work with every regime and make sure that the needs of our people, irrespective of what power, what government is in power, the needs of our people are met. And so that is my position. My question again is, does it hurt for an individual Rastafari to say he wants to go into parliament, then observing the political terrain in his constituency? I think being independent will not help me, but then affiliating with Party A or Party B can help me reach parliament. How bad is that? How does that affect the government? I give thanks.
Well, I was like of a view, like Son of Man was saying, if you want to choose in the lines of like political parties, I think Radio Culture made a point that even if you look at some of them, they are colors. We know those who do things that Rasta relates more, and you can pick it from that end to end. But then he also made a point that there is no NPP caucus, and that is my problem. And I repeat again, if I see NDC caucus, I would love to see NPP caucus. I still stand by that. But Mauli, it seems you have something to say, so you can come in. Please unmute your mic, Mauli. Yes, I.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. We can hardly hear you, please.
presented.
Yes, I.
Hello.
Hello, talk please.
Yeah, one
Hey,
look.
Ras, we can hear you. Coming.
Yeah, greetings now.
Greetings.
Yeah, greetings. Hello.
Greetings, Ken. We are online, please.
Yeah, greetings.
I'm
Ras, go
calling calling from Kumasi, you know.
Yes, I.
Yeah, we give thanks for the reasoning, you know. Yeah, Rastafari. Yeah, Badati.
Yes. Go ahead.
Yes.
Say your thing.
Yes,
Come
Reggie.
on,
Yes.
come on. Yeah, me for instance, you know something? I'm with the party, and then I'm with the party. I have been a branch secretary for the NDC, a constituency youth organizer, and two-term communication officer. As I'm currently speaking, I'm a communication officer of Asuman constituency, you know. And it's a time we, the Rastas, if we really mean power, because Honorable Marcus Garvey, I mean, one told us no government recognize unorganized and then people. Selassie also told us to organize and centralize. So it's a time we should come out. For instance, we are the most the revolutionary people on the earth. The system, which is this white the supremacy system, I are their main target. So we can't put under our tree, you know, for them to always they take sex. It's a time we should come out. Because we are tougher past them. And when we say party politics, it's those who are in it. I mean, which is making it wrong. If the right people, they say if the righteous African come out, yeah, we can change things for better, you know. And now, no, everyone must realize the ruling power is with the political class. Yeah, the political party, they make decisions for everyone. So we can't sit. Because they say if you allow foolish people to make laws governing you are, then who you are. So we can't sit under our trees. Even though our spiritual help, we can't have, I mean we don't have freedom to. If we are not able to free the helper, then we are not free. And now is the time. For instance, when we talk of Rastafari, it's all about black consciousness. No, and any conscious Rasta, let me tell you, any conscious Rasta will affiliate with the NDC, the National Democratic Congress. Because why? Because they are the Pan-African people. This new patriotic party represent white and supremacy, colonialism, and imperialism. So if any Rasta who know himself, who know where he belongs, yeah, I mean, let's check all the freedom fighters from Kwame Nkrumah, Jomo Kenyatta, Sokoture, Chignonumba, them all. They are all Rastafari, you know, the same cause.
All right. Bridget still there on our figure.
Yeah, you feel go because he go offline.
I think he dropped. Okay, all right. So quick reaction. Wow. All right. First of all,
The Rastafari council conference. I told them there is nothing wrong if some Rastas also think MPP Rasta Kokosa. There's nothing wrong with it. But we're supposed to have a body like Rastafari Council who because it's intelligent for us to. That is the game. We come out with one accord, but with different direction. Yeah. If you hold to Rastafari ideology and philosophy, yeah, you can be with them, but all part you then. Because they say if you can't beat them, you join them.
Alright, ready?
So now is the time. If we really mean business here, we can't sit in our ghettos and then this is the time they need us. So we supposed to plan and then
alright. Reggie, give thanks. Give enough thanks. After picking that from here, give thanks.
Yes, sir.
First of all, so
you get
Hold on, Reggie. Yeah, I think you made it.
Yeah.
Let's move it forward. Yeah, you made the point. Give thanks. So
yeah, man.
Yeah. So first of all, I think when we to the area of if you are not of this ideology, then you are not Rasta, and we should try and shun that. I feel like as a Rasta man, it's hard for me as a Rasta man to align with the philosophy of the patriotic party, to be very frank with you. But I'm not going to say that if somebody aligns with that, it's not Rasta. That's dangerous. That's when it starts getting some type of way. You understand?
Exactly.
Even though we know ideology, when you look at the ideology, it's clear. And that's why I started talking about colors and all that. But again, I also mentioned that for somebody who has a personal issue, like I have a brethren whose parents went through hell during Rawlinson's revolution.
Myself, my family member,
they are going to be forced to support Rawlinson's party. It's hard. Let's acknowledge that. Let's give people that room. So let's not force and say that, oh, okay, if you are not this, then you are that. That's when it starts getting dangerous. That said, again, I think there's no NPP Rasta caucus because NPP and their ideology can hardly align with anything that Rasta stands for. That's a fact. And I'm not saying you don't have your own fact. I'm just stating, right? Because we're looking at let's kick back a little bit and let's do this. Why don't we define these political parties we are talking about, and then we'll know what they stand for? Otherwise, we are saying that if you go to South Africa, the ANC and the other party that's fighting for the political rights of the white people are the same thing. No, they are not out there. So I think that we should scratch beyond the surface and go a bit deeper and look at what are these people, what do they stand for, and how they line up with our interests as a body, as Rastafari. Now here it is. If you look at the NPP, we know that first of all, if you kick back a little bit, during independence, they are progenitors. They didn't want independence.
Exactly.
They wanted independence on some type of terms which we all know wouldn't happen. If that had happened, we had a historian on Radio Culture the other day. If that terms had happened, Ghana would have been Southern Ghana, like 3 regions.
Yes.
Right? And then have a party that is looking after a broader mass of people. Kwame Nkrumah's party, today as we speak, there's a lot of turmoil within that party that still calls itself the CPP. But what Kwame Nkrumah stood for, who is representing that, who is carrying that forward? Let's be practical and pragmatic. For me personally, I'm not ready to stand and sloganeer for another 10, 20 years, 30 years, only for me to be holding a walking stick later and say, oh, and then my children are sloganeering the same thing. Believe me, some of the things we are saying here today, we said them when we didn't have gray hairs, when we were Legon and things like that. We're saying the same things. Now we are closer to that axis of power. We're closer to when we have a Dr. Sadia Nuhu, which we can all support and put in power, in parliament somewhere, right? And then what are the conduits that we can use to get that done? We can, like we have said here, we can form our own party, right, as Rasta. We can definitely do that. Form the party and force and push our way in there. Or as people who want to be pragmatic, look at what avenues are available and how we can tap into that. People are tapping into our avenues. Why can't we tap into theirs? Right? People see us as a body. If this NDC Rasta caucus thing, you know why they take you seriously? Because they identify that you are a body. They need the numbers because they see the power that you have. They are tapping into us. So let's tap into them too. right? Rather than waiting and going to support NDC and being like, oh, okay, I'm waiting for NDC to come and legalize ganja. If we can do it ourselves, we do it ourselves. But if we don't have the wherewithal to do it right now, what is the smartest way to get that done? Again, like I said, if we start, and I agree with everybody that has spoken, everybody, right? And I'm reiterating some of the points that everybody has made so far. If we start saying, oh, NDC Rasta caucus, NDC, they're kind of saying, MPP Rasta caucus, it is a landmine. Because what if, along the line, another group of people come and justify why they like MPP so much? Chaos among ourselves. Let us say, nipa two groups of people, two there, or more agenda data. More agenda, no, agenda, separate here. It's not wise. It's not wise. But it is also a two-edged sword, because at the same time, which political interests currently represent our political interests? And how do we align with them to make sure that those interests are achieved for us? That's where I stand. Now, a word of advice to the NDC caucus before I wrap up. The first thing I was expecting you to speak about or to demand, because you don't give your support for free. If you are going in there to support John Mahama, I haven't heard once the issue of marijuana being raised. And everybody knows that is our biggest issue. You can bury your head in the sand. We know that's our biggest issue. Now, we know some of the things they say when they bring it back to us. But we should also know how to navigate that. For instance, we have freedom of worship in the country. We as Rastas, we can also identify as a spiritual, if not religious group, right? So, do we have a right to the head for sacrament, for instance? So that if a policeman picks you up, for instance, telling that they are promising all kinds of things. How hard is it for them to promise this? So if a policeman arrests you and you identify as a member of the Rastafari community, you should have a certain limit within which you should have some marijuana for sacramental use without suffering any punishment. Let's get the political parties to commit to things like this before we follow them. That way, when they come out, then we can hold their feet to the fire and say, hey, yo, 1 year, next time, no, we're too stupid following you. Otherwise, what is it that we are looking for? Everything else that everybody else is looking for. And that's why I also agree that there's an NDC political caucus. Because, Rasta caucus, you know why? Because the country, let's face it, the country right now is in a state where we cannot sit aloof. We have to do something to rescue the country. And I think these people are chipping in their bit by doing that. I'll end there and let somebody else take it from there. Give that person.
So, if you can hear me, I'll chime in real quickly in support with some of the things Rasquisi was saying. It's what I was, excited to also press on. Is that if we have NDC, Rasta, NDC caucus, Rasta, MPP caucus, Rasta, Cheddar, because he's also the new force, we have to mention him too. So we have, if we are different parties, I think we'll be divided. I think it will be disaster, like Rasquisi said, So I think that we should be involved, but we should have a united front in our involvement. We should be one solid Rasta representation. And how we can do that is what we should be focusing on, to have our voices heard. So right now, I live in the United States. I live in Texas. And I have one of my brethren in one of the states that I know personally it's legalized in that state, and they have medical marijuana. So this brethren has a medical card that he takes to the doctor, and the doctor permits him to have his marijuana, with him. So if the police stop him, it's medical. He will not be arrested. He can carry, and he grows it. He has license to also grow it for his personal consumption. See? So how is it that we Rastas have been fighting this for years and years and years? And others are, benefiting these things, and we are still being arrested and beaten on the streets. We are political force, but I'm saying that we are passive because our voice is not being heard. If we can sit on the policy making table. Like one of our brothers said, and I agree with everything everybody has said too. But if we can be on the policy making table to address our issues and to speak also, that is where we'll be strong. Yes, we're doing politics. That's right. Everywhere Rastas are is always politics. We are talking about left and right, we are very strong and intelligent people amongst us. Let's take it to the policy table and talk to the policy makers. The brethren said, if you sit down for fools to make policies for you, who are you?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Can I come in? Yes, sir. Can I come in?
Come in, please.
All right. Nice. Okay, once again. So now, my question is, what is the difference between what we call Rasta caucus and Rastafarian as we are today? What's the difference? Because I hear the brother saying Rasta caucus. Are they two separate entities?
I think when you say Rasta caucus, then you mean the NDC Rasta caucus. Yes.
No. I mean before the NDC Rasta caucus, our brother said that before then they are Rasta caucus before they joined the NDC and they become NDC Rasta caucus. So this is the fear I was having from my first presentation, that if we are not careful, our front will be divided. Let us have one Rasta. Whatever you do is Rasta. Now to my second point, what has been the achievement or the breakthrough of the NDC Rasta caucus as far as our Rasta needs are concerned? What has been it? Because I have read the NDC manifesto. I do not see anything that propagates or promotes Rasta. I haven't, maybe I may be wrong, but as I've read through the NDC manifesto, our NDC Rasta caucus brother is here. He said they've been affiliated to NDC for a long time. Now the question I want to ask him, can he read a line or a clause or a section in the NDC manifesto that seek to promote Rastafari Council of Ghana, that seek to meet any of our needs? We have a lot of needs, but which one need that NDC have put into their manifesto, that because you Rasta caucus, NDC Rasta caucus, because you are with them, because you are with Justin in Kuma time or NDC Jerry's time, because of your efforts, because you've been meeting with them, because because you are with them, we will take this one problem that you, the Rastafarian, are saying we will take and solve. Is there anything in the manifesto like that? Thank you. Give thanks.
Yeah, son of man, you can come in.
Can I come in?
Yes, I.
Get an intro.
When I made the affiliate with the NDC, we all know that NDC, which is the National Democratic Congress organization by itself, Rasta caucus is also organization by itself, right? That's why we affiliate with them. And when you want to see anything in manifesto, it's a lot, because we affiliate with them. We say we are supporting the effort of the National Democratic Congress and providing a good governance and training the youth on agriculture, sanitation, and tourism. Skill acquisition, we have 3 laws, and we all seen. You can see it in it. In 2020 to 2025, we have something called People Manifesto, which is the entrepreneurship. We have so many ideas. Sometimes you write a policy suggestion to them, they will not write it exactly what you mean, but the ideas can be picked. You get what I mean? Yes. So that's all. So if you mean like you never see anything in the manifesto, I can remember you or I can show you a sign of agriculture, sanitation, tourism.
No, please, let me come in. Let me come in. Let me come in. Let me come in, please.
Can I back you up my bed?
The issue of agriculture.
Can continue, please.
Okay, all right, okay.
Because I think that you made a point. So if you look at the NDC manifesto, right, we are, and I've not read the whole thing, but I'm just talking to you about certain things that I've had the opportunity to speak to some of them about. The 24-hour economy thing, I think, say, it is a boost for everybody. And now let's look at it like this. You may not see, say, this is something for Rasta, right? But if we put ourselves in the collective as Ghanaians, as people who also have parents, who have families, who have wives and girlfriends, other people who live in, Ghana, there are people who depend on you, right? So you want everything very nice in the country. Okay, now the 24-hour thing is there. More jobs for everybody. Who doesn't like that? Right? Yeah. Now, that's not even the thing. Look at a policy called the National Apprenticeship Program. That is where we have to tap in. And I will not be surprised that maybe, like you're saying, ideas to them may have resulted in the formation of that policy. Because the NDC has a policy that they are going to start, not everybody has the head to go to a classroom. Some people, if you put them in a classroom, because they are oriented differently, right? Yeah. So there are people who belong in a different area of apprenticeship. So the NDC says they will find tradesmen, and then they will give them the incentive to train people, right? So if you have a carpenter who's a very good carpenter, you put 20 youth under him in the train them. These kind of things is what we can tap in. I could go on and on, but if you say the policy we say it, I think that we would waste time if we're talking about that. Because truth of the matter is that if you take the NDC's manifesto and you break it down, there's a lot of things that you can say that we can tap into, even though it doesn't expressly say Rastafari or anything like that. I'm sure if you go into the MPP's 1-2, if you look hard enough, you may also find one or two things that we can also tap in, which is why we come back to the point that let's look at that very thing of tagging ourselves with the political way, because that's what I think that the discussion should be, as to whether it's necessary or as to whether it will extend the discussion, if you ask me. All right, so yeah, just that. Thank you, Brethren. I think you wanted to say something. Sorry for taking the
yes, man. So you see, there is what we call national policy, and national policy are designed to affect the ability of the population, and there is what also we call targeted policy, which is designed to target a group of people and their needs. And the point is that as Rastas, we have a specific needs. Which of the policies that have been propagated by the NDC meet our specific needs? Since we have
maybe if you point out that particular problem, then we can align it, because it looks like you.
For example, we are talking about legalization of marijuana.
Yes,
we are talking about legalization of marijuana. We are talking about,
and we are adding on to that, right? So rather than kickback, we already made that point. Say it's something that they need to add to whatever they're asking. But that aside, I think, as racists, what really is our problem? What do we want? Let's address that. What do we want as racists? Okay, and then maybe once we identify that, then we can look at the policy of the different political parties and how they can affect how we can get what we want. What do we want? Because me personally,
Okay,
I want to see my people happy. I want to see Ghana as a prosperous country where people are not drinking dirty water, right? Now, if you have a government that has given out 1,500 miles in 1 year, it's ridiculous. If you have a government that can deport 5,000 Chinese nationals because they were destroying the environment, but it's a government that says, "Oh, I'm going to buy 3 billion, so put the energy." Let's reason.
Right, so that is fine.
Future generation, we can sit down and sloganeer all day long. We can sit down and say, okay, yeah, whatever it is, so racists, we are not supposed to be political, whatever. But at the end, but you know what is happening? My grandmother is drinking cyanide-infested water.
Exactly.
How do we stop that? That's my supporting NDC stop that. Yes, I will support NDC. And get me attack. Because I can say that no, and sit down right now and have somebody who is trying to cover up for Galamseyes and say it's $3 billion in tea. And yet, when the Bank of Ghana can steal $6 billion, let's not be ignorant. Let's use our heads. Ross is saying ignorant to so we can consider some of these things, okay, for the sake of whatever. So the initially, can't say we end this. But at the end of the day, am I going to vote for NPP? And I'm sorry to bring the names out. At this point, it be like we can't hide anymore.
Yeah.
Am I going to vote for MPP to tell us, the vice presidential candidate is telling Galamsey, oh, Mutuma yedi Mushan fine Bemamo. Yedi Momashi Besama will also be a DD. Bro! Versus John Mahama, who practically deported 5,000 Chinese people. I met him in New York. I asked him the question, how do you feel after doing that? What do you think the impact is going to be? He said, hey, listen, China understands why I deported their people. Because we can't go to China and destroy the environment. I deported them because they did this. And now Safumafu's government comes to power. We ask them, say, people, what's her name? Aisha, whatever her name is destroying the water bodies. What are we doing? Also, China is giving us $3 billion. So who will you vote for? Give thanks.
Yes, I.
Can I say one thing real quick?
Yes, I.
Yeah, my thing.
There are a lot of questions too for you to answer, Auntie. One question so happy and one so preko.
Cool. Yeah, another person with Busa say, Charlie, Rastafari don't have to wait for a government. That's what I'm saying. We're making everything dependent on forces who are not, who don't have they're not thinking about what we need. Why do we have to wait on a government? This sounds extreme, or maybe not practical. So yes, okay, go ahead and support the party, and when it comes to time, vote for the party. Cool. But between now and then, make they continue rape my mother. Mm-hmm. Let's take it in that level, in that level of seriousness. If my grandmother is drinking dirty water, it's like someone's raping my mother every day. That's how I see it. Am I going to sit around and say, well, I'm waiting for Yabetwaba before we go check who go, and if it was a guarantee that they go stop rape my mother? So I'm saying, we're acting like our only option is going through this door. And I'm saying that Rastafari, the power and the attraction is coming from Selassie, right? Let's take it seriously. If we be Rastafari people, we got genius. We got people where they think, where they imagine things. What would they say, what would they do to support the caucuses? If, let's say, there was even an NPP caucus. It'd be what would they do as a collective, what ideas would they generate? If all our ideas be set pieces, already the things for everybody else to do, we're going to be in the same place. We can come up with a way where we're going to make interventions where you don't need to go through a government. The government will be forced to side with us. But right now, it's almost like if the government is going to move, then we're going to go with it, basically, right? If we're able to get this robust thing going on, it doesn't matter what government is in place. Rastafari go move things in any direction we want. I said, now it looks like why should I wait till November before we go make serious moves on this Galamsey thing? I mean, really? If we say we're revolutionaries, I'm sorry, if I sound inflammatory or whatever, the implications might not be very peaceful, but we can think through it and come up with a system or a systematic approach to these problems. But unfortunately, we're just like good schoolboys and girls, conforming. This is what you do. This is what you can do. Who created a nation state called Ghana? Not us. Let's face it. It's just the name that was changed. But that was a white people's project, and it still is. So if we say we're rebels and revolutionaries, these are things we should have to take seriously, right? Can't we come up with something? We're going to stop the Galam say before November, or at least make moves, or give some indication that is not going to be tolerated. Why do we have to wait? And then they come in power, and they come in and they're gone, and the thing is still happening. Then what? Are we going to be upset with the next government or them? Every single government that has come in Ghana has ended up as a failure to people. Let's face it.
That's true.
That's the point I was trying to make earlier. What is Rastafari doing in spite of the regimes?
Yeah.
I want to clear some. I beg one sentence. I beg you. I promise. Fire. Just a reaction to what you just said, right? Somebody can pick my pocket, and somebody can hold a gun to my head and lick me down and take my wallet. I have the choice between the two. Which one would I choose? No fair. Because all the governments fail, but we didn't see the sea turning brown.
Yeah.
Under some government.
Yeah.
That's the point I'm trying to make.
Very terrible.
There's only so much we can do as a people, and I like to be pragmatic. Between now and November, we can make a lot of noise. We can do a whole lot of stuff, but pragmatically, practically, how are we going to solve that? Are we going to try to solve the issue between now and November, or are we going to try to plan in such a way that the problem is solved a bit more permanently? Sorry, Brendan.
That's what I think. The second one you said is what I'm talking about. It's as heated as I sounded. I'm saying, the second one, are we going to plan? And this is going to be dependent on the party. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm thinking. I'm wondering if we want to do. Whatever we're doing be dependent on a particular regime. That's what I'm thinking is problematic. We can work with them, but it shouldn't be dependent on them.
Agree.
That's all I'm saying.
Agree.
Yes, Queen. Unmute your Queen. Queen, you are still mute.
Difference. We're saying that let's do something. For me, that's what I'm hearing.
Yes.
Let's do something by any means necessary. Being a Rastafarian.
Yes, I will tell something on air, right? Yeah.
What helps me as a Rastafarian is that, to be frank with you, we talk and talk and talk. We talk brilliant ideas, beautiful. We always talk. No action. No action. That is disheartening. So from today going, the good conversation is how do we affect change? Is it through politics? Is it through what means? We should have something going, something, effective going. As Rastafari for our nation. What is it that we're going to do?
Hello?
I'm for the politics and I'm for any other that we can do.
Yeah, my God.
Yeah.
What is the way?
Mr. Malfoy, okay,
And with that being said, I'm sorry, enjoyed the discussion and I wish I could stay longer, but I have to go. But I'm available for, what way we're going forward. Right now I live in Texas and I'm joining the NDC, Texas chapter. I'm observing because I myself have that. So for a long time somebody needs to lead. Is it Rastafari?
Hello?
Rastafari, can you mute yourself?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, so should I go on?
Yes, do.
So I'm doing the NDC.
We give thanks to, For instance, let me come with and for instance, dear flag bearer told the whole nation, meeting people with regard to the People Manifesto. Even the Muslims and the Christians who have taken the nation as ransom also present. For instance, the chief imam present former President Mama with 11 to include in his manifesto. During that time, where was the Rastafari caucus? Because it's an opportunity for us also to, so it's a time we're supposed to move forward. because we get the opportunity. For instance, our brothers and sisters who are disabled, they're able to agitate for their rights. And in the national policy and everything, they include them. Why I and I can't also? Because we get the opportunity, we contact many people for us also to present our manifesto. It's a big opportunity. They go around the whole nation. Where were the Rastas? So it's a scammer. Marcus Garvey,
Exactly the question I was asking. If we have why didn't they put anything in the manifesto that will seek the goodness of Rasta? Why?
Please, please
take it out.
Let's allow them make their point, and then we can also come in. With all due respect,
can I finish making my point? I don't know if I'm on the speaker or
yes, you are online now. You are on now.
Yes,
okay, please. Sorry, the brother interrupted me, but anyway, I was trying to say that I am ready. I'm ready for us to work and to see action, because it hurts my heart that for Rastafari, we talk good talk, but very little action. So I'm ready. I've joined the NDC Texas chapter. For the NDC caucus representation, please link up with me and let's reason and see.
I'm coming.
Let me land. For a long time, Rasta, we say, Rasta won't do this. We said a lot of won't do. There was another time we said we won't live abroad. Now I live in Texas. We say, school, we won't work for the government, we won't do all of that. I'm involved with all of that. And then I went to school, and as Tracy mentioned, I got my PhD in psychology, community service, and leadership. Okay? I did this for Rastafari. That's what I did this for. I did this so that, they will stop referring us as not us, but they refer us as big laugh. They see us as we don't go to school with our dirty our dirty hair. No, that's not what we are. So we want to prove to them we have something to offer. So that's what I did. I want to be a Rastafari woman that is educated. I'm a doctor and effect change. So I'm ready. Please link up with me. Let this conversation progress into action, not just talking. Thank you.
Yes, we don't talk without action, Yes. I hear people saying, well, it's Rasta in the People Manifesto or the Manifesto of NDC. Let me tell you, all the youth manifesto all the youth in the manifesto, it was the idea of Rasta caucus. Because we give them our policy suggestions, and I can prove it. Whoever me, we have it. I have a copy. We gave it to them, and we are creating bases in the ghettos, the pride areas, and slums, streets. So I not tell you nothing right. You should just contact NDC Rasta Caucus or Rasta Caucus. Contact us and you will get to know our documents, what we have done for NDC. NDC never let us out. They enter our policy suggestion in their People Manifesto. Trust me. So let's all come together and fight one fight. You see, yeah.
Raskofi.
Yes, sir.
I thought we caught more. Tete mumame.
Your comments, suggestion, any contributions, maybe. Daddy B wa ha yente nka say who be here say adi
doctor from what yes
doctor sonka and
yente mon cry ti apamcho yaka bebre yapesi yente mon kan Daddy B profile apamcho mon fa mo voice nka na presenter never mind a summary and I say the closing remarks na ya di bibia be we
Doctor Infama FS, Prof.
As a prof,
Right.
Obama.
Yeah. Yes, I. Kofi Ashanti.
Yes, Ra, son of man.
Yes, I have a virgin who also want to contribute, yes, among the Rasta caucus members as well. So he's here to talk, Yeah, my lord, give thanks for this moment,
Give thanks to him.
Yes, Ken, let's hear from you.
Did you hear me?
Yes,
I
Prof.
think
Come in.
Can you hear me, please? Can you hear me?
Yes,
Kofi
yes,
Asante.
Ras. Yes, Ras, we
Kofi
can
Asante.
hear you. Yeah, Ras, we
All
can
right.
hear you. If you can make
Yeah,
your
well,
remarks before Prof, that will help. So please, a short comment and then Prof will come in.
Oh, I am using Son of Man's account. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes,
Please
Ras,
speak
we
up.
can hear you. So go ahead.
All right, this is Bobo Jude speaking.
Rastafari.
Respect.
The last year I first, my lord. All right, Son of Man has been reasoning with me about the Rasta caucus thing, you see. And initially, when I heard the vibe, I was like, okay, let me get more understanding. But what I got from him, right, the understanding I got from him was Rastafari Caucus is an organization that he really set, right? But because he wanted to do political wins, and Rasta is not so recognized, he intended to affiliate himself with NDC because NDC has Electoral Pan-African Meditation through J.J. Rollins, you see. And upon natural, we love J.J. Rollins as Rasta because we have been dealing with him for a long time, despite he became a president. So he affiliated with NDC so he can be able to do the works. Now, with the understanding I got from him, he said the NDC recognized the Rasta caucus, right? And then he has been setting base. The work they do is they go around the districts and the constituency. So he made me know that they've been able to gather so many members in different constituencies, and they call them bases, right? And if you can ask him the amount, I think he has some amount of bases that they have really gathered people. That when they go there, the people don't see them as NDC people. They see them as Rasta caucus, right? So sometimes when they go to places, the people are like, oh, NDC party, then it's like, oh no, we're Rasta. You see, Rasta caucus. But the idea is, the affiliation is to try to get members. So the members that we're gathering, the bases now, they know they are Rasta caucus members, right? So his idea is, after getting all these bases in all the then his idea is to set up a political party called the National Rasta Caucus, which is different from NDC. So that idea really made me interested. So like, oh my lord, yes, it be some idea because Rasta they talk about, just like the sister said, we the fire burn everything and we fire burn ourselves, and now we go down the drain. So some Rasta now we say, yeah, crying fire burn go school because school is Babylon. But my lord, yeah, come bro, young go school anka, me no. So my lord, my voice to this thing is, me personally, I see that the Rasta caucus thing is a strategy where he's using, but a lot of people are not really getting closer to really get the idea about what he's really doing. He's saying he's trying to set a political party because he has been following politics for a long time, but he's trying to see a strategy that Rasta can enter
That's why he's just affiliated with. He's not like an son of man, a big Rasta man. When you say in your politics, but say how can we intrude into this thing? Because council has from long time. You see, Ejumano, Ejumano, my lord, son of man, Sisia, no, bit me for poor, no afraid, I see don't get here. What I say, anything penny poor no. Sometimes yeah, pelin say baby bua. You just say Rasta no they go forward. Rasta, you know, be say Rasta no they go forward. Though we be say, we know they try see the strategy where we go take intrude. You see me, I understand him say, honestly, this thing, a lot of people will come against it. But me, the understanding I get, and they say, also you see strategy be, the beba. So let's understand the thing. Yeah, criticism will come in everything you want to do. But Rasta, we have overcome criticism. The thing is, let's understand the movement. Or see, Rasta says to a political party. Game, no, make me to we enter the thing. Because, see, it has been long, my lord. Let's find time and get closer to Son of Man. Because me, the understanding, no, or say, no formal cockot, no, and I'll start to say, or bring you branches, around, you understand? But some kind of vibe, some people know they understand. And then it's like, say, the other political parties, the NDC members too are recognizing, but they are realizing, say, as Rasta is coming in, no, some one or two vibes are coming among the Rastas, and into the watching, no. So honestly, you can see this time, no. If you can ask the members and the people in the Rastafari caucus in Accra, no, as a Son of Man, because or say the misunderstanding where they go on, no, there's some things happen. They talk, they know they really understand. So he has withdrawn himself, so we can get a full understanding. So when he spoke to me, I said, okay, my lord. So when I heard this, I said, no, let me come in and at least contribute my voice. Say, Rasta caucus, no. Honestly, me, I'm not a member really, but I am supporting the cause because me who say a movement on also work say, yeah. It's just like Rastafari Council that was set. It is man and man put them heart together. It's just like Ethiopia World Federation, which His Majesty said, but it put man and man together. So any name can come. It's just the energy and the force behind it. So what he is saying is, Rastafari caucus affiliate with NDC now, so say basis in the constituencies. So now, Ochinohua also he has members. Saying National Rasta caucus. That is the idea I got from him. So that is why I'm also just here. I am supporting this caucus meditation. Give thanks, my lord.
It's been a long while since we have spoken. We give thanks.
Yeah, my lord. I give thanks
every time. So we wanted to take input from Prof. Wiro and Daddy B. Our time is far advanced, and then we'll call the curtains down. Yeah. Yes. So
yeah, but I hope you got my vibe. All right.
Full time, Ras. We do get it. You are supporting the purpose, and we appreciate respect.
My lord. Bless you.
Prof. Wiro, please, yes, if you are ready.
Yeah, man. Last question to give thanks. Can the item hear me?
Yes, we can hear you clearly.
Yes, my lord.
Give thanks. So, give thanks for the reasoning still. I think that foundationally, we have to look at certain things. In terms of what informs our Rastafari thinking. And first and foremost is what we will call an ideology, right? Or the way we think, black self-determination, black supremacy, right? Okay, having said that, a lot of the things that we've talked about, I think one of the main things we try saying, which has not really fully come out, is that what are we articulating as Rastafari on the national scene? Who are we and what do we want? Now, if we answer that question, we also don't forget, say, we are a very strong part of the society if we want to be, right? And we don't necessarily need a political party to substantiate that. Rastafari in our own right is political, but not necessarily multi-party political, right? So, what do I mean by this? Let's say Galam. Everybody is talking about Galamsey is bad. We agree. But so far, I don't hear anybody asking the question, who is buying the gold where they mine from the Galamsey pit? Now, when we compare Ghana right now as it stands to the days of our parents and our grandparents, there's one thing that me and see. Say our parents and grandparents thought in terms of internationally how things affected us as a people. Whereas today we see that everything is more localized. We look at things and say, oh, this is the NPP's fault or this is the NDC's fault. But the question is, who are the people behind moving things and making things be the way they are in the society right now? And this is where I think Rastafari comes in. We have to articulate to the people how these international forces are impacting the way things occur in our local society. And with that, we are a force to be reckoned with. Secondly, let's not forget, so when it comes to youths in the ghetto, or if we are an organized force of people, what we say, they will follow more than what any political party says. Now, I understand how some people articulate the idea, say that is a strategy. Fine, we have to use all strategies that are available to us, but we also think of ourselves as lower. We think of ourselves as hierarchy. We hire, right? So if we hire, then we have to be articulating our positions in a way that whether you're MPP or NDC, when you come, you have to attend to our demands and what we want. Now, they say manifesto and thing. When Rastafari speak, you for speak in such a way, say, when before you come power, you go not say, you for do something to what the Rastafari they speak. So what would they articulate? What do we want? Do we want an agricultural policy in place? What does it look like? Do we want an entrepreneurship or youth development policy in place? What do they look like? What will they do with all the arable lands? What will they do with transportation? We articulate this as Rastafari. We don't need nobody to do this. We can do this on our own and be recognized as the force that we are, instead of coming under. Because the thing we know they ask ourselves to say, this idea of party politics, where does it come from? Right? It's not coming from Haile Selassie. It's not coming from Rastafari. And the problem with that is that when there is something that is coming from a particular kind of thinking, an ideology that has never worked in the interest of I and I black people, what is the guarantee that it will work for I and I today? We have to set the thing up our own self, and we already have it, but we just have to be more firm and be more articulate in our demands. We have the red, gold, green. We have the red, black, green. That is the foundation on which we stand. And if we don't move out of that foundation, right, we articulate what we want. And I think that will require us to sit down and say, whatever government will come into power, and I know say the ganja issue be an issue, but that will be the only issue. Whatever government will come to power, how can we hold their legs to the fire to make sure say they do certain things for the country and for Africa at large? So that be the thing we at the see. Now, we started by talking about, Kwame Nkrumah and thing. And really, yeah, this whole divided ideology where they go on for Ghana has been going on for a very long time. Kwame Nkrumah before 1962 had already faced 48 assassination attempts. Just think about that for a minute, right? And this man set it up for I. Today, are we studying this man's teaching? And if we say we are studying Marcus Garvey, we say organize and centralize. We say we study Selassie, organize and centralize. How are we putting this into action? And more time, we will focus more on my brother step on my toe. So me and you no go fit sit at the same table. But how we no go fit sit at the same table and really come say, okay, Rasta want this. This is what Rastafari want. Let's come as a front and present it to whoever is in power. Make sure that we are getting what we want, and not just what we want as Rastafari, but what we want for the nation as Ghana and by extension Africa. So that'll be my few words for right now. I don't want to take too much time, but give thanks for the vibes. Yes, I.
Give thanks, my Lord, same way. For the vibes and for deepening the reasoning. Daddy B, before you come in, Molly is here. He hasn't spoken. Organizer, please do, and then Daddy B will give us. So Molly, if you are here, you've not spoken. Toby, are you there?
Really, and then me too, I come inside.
Yeah, Puju, we are running down, so we just want a minute from each, and then we can call it down, because the meeting started at 7 and it's supposed to last 2 hours.
The allotted time, we need to open up.
Yeah.
Yes. So yeah, Marley, can you just touch? Can you just come in and then we call on Daddy B to give his final words? Seems Marley is having problems. So Daddy B, please, your words for the reasoning. We haven't heard from you, so can get a comment from you. We'll be pleased. And then the presenter will give us greetings, my Lord.
Yes, I give thanks for the reasoning. I couldn't catch the start of the presentation, but I have an idea where it went. And, I give thanks for the comments around the table. What it is we need to have more of such engagement so that we can understand where we are, where we need to get to. So I give thanks for the diverse opinions and everything. And I look forward to we actually participating on a certain level. What I particularly like is a point that Prof. Euro made, where he was saying, even as a people, we are a political force already. That doesn't mean but
hello, Daddy B, you're on hold. My Lord, Daddy B, please can you check your line again? You're on hold.
If he's on hold, he can't even hear you.
I think he may have been receiving a call or something.
Yes, I think so. Mauli can take it now if he's cool.
Yeah, I think he's having challenges with his lines. Okay, he's back.
Okay. What I was basically saying is that the conversations have been insightful, and I look forward to a position where we'll be able to play our role as a people, non-aligned as a body. Non-aligned as a body,
that is articulating the issues of concern to our people and seeking positive action to address them, and then ultimately ensuring that our state as Ghana contributes to the realization of African unity. Thanks.
Thanks.
Give thanks, my lord. Please, the presenter, if we can get your closing remarks. Rasmauli, you are still struggling to speak, so
can we have Rasmauli?
Rasmauli, can you come in? Toby, can you make your Mali, are you there?
You go offline.
Ras, seems you are having challenges with your network, so we'll take the final remarks from the presenter, and we'll wrap up. Give thanks.
Thanks. Yeah, I want to give thanks for the reasoning. So much to work with. But I think one thing where they stand out is say, Haile Selassie is the power of the tree unity, right? That means that's why there's all this power where we get, So I feel say we have to support those who are trying to work with the parties. We have to have certain understandings, because right now it doesn't look like if something's that happening with the NPP side of things. I don't know if people go immediately support that, because right now it looks like NDC is the one that's got the colors and the symbolisms, but we know how that doesn't mean much after a certain point. So if we could come back to it, to the Lion of Judah himself, to Selassie himself, and stand in that position and not let anything be dependent on other forces, but our own thing we want to do, just like how quite a number of us have already said, we support people based on what they want to do, but we also have to generate our own ideas. What do we want? What be our own interests? Where sometimes they exceed what the party to do. Yes, we're forced to reckon with. I was talking about Ross Brown in Jamaica. That time Rasta was not a massive movement, but the government realized that even today, Rastas are not a majority in Jamaica. As much as they're very visible, they're relatively a minority in terms of numbers, But Ross Brown then made moves, and the government of Jamaica was busy trying to co-opt Rastafari, trying to shut it down. They couldn't, and they decided to divide us with this idea of non-political and political, So we will understand the power where we walk with. And it's not because of us, our education or anything, our experiences. It's because of King Selassie, And I think if we tap more into that, what is Selassie's ideas about this? Selassie didn't have any room for multi-party politics. But His Majesty worked with all sorts of political angles. We know that. Look at how he handled African unity and all that. So it's King Selassie we will work with. For premise all this on King Selassie. And there's plenty to work with. Sometimes we look there, we don't see much. So we started jumping on other things that are sensational and more interesting, just seems more pertinent, more pragmatic. But everything Selassie do, and there's plenty of things that for us to study. A lot of them reasonings is published. If we take our time to reason through this, we come up with ideas. We are inspired to do things. So that's where I stand on this thing, So yes, we support anyone where they do things where they interest us, where it benefit our interests, so to speak. But we stand for Rastafari and what our Rastafari interests we're pushing, just like how the Ivians just before I spoke were saying. Give thanks.
Give thanks.